Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about cheating in Dead by Daylight and ass hair. So I saw this post on Twitter that basically said that DBD is in the top 10 most searched games for cheating. Apparently this is the amount of cheat-related searches per 1,000 players, so DBD is number 7 on the list here. So 20 out of 1,000 players are searching for cheats, which is a pretty damn high ratio. And I just, as an aside, I have to just ask, why Dead by Daylight? Why, of all the games you could cheat in, why do you pick the game with no tangible reward? It's like you can't become global elite in Dead by Daylight and you've got a symbol that shows that so you can delude yourself that you're actually good at the game. Like there's no tangible reward. It's like going to your friend's house and cheating in like Mario Party or like pick an odd job in GoldenEye. Just why? Just aside. But basically this shows that DBD, it does have a cheater problem. And I think we all know that. Every game that's multiplayer and features PvP is going to have some type of cheating issue. And I want to hop to behavior's defense a little tiny bit here, because a lot of people think behavior does nothing in terms of cheating. They don't ban anybody. They see cheaters all the time. The truth is they do ban a lot of cheaters. They do ban a lot of cheaters. It's pretty easy to just have another account and continue cheating. So it's a constant ongoing war. And I know a lot of people have said stuff like, well, why don't you add server side checks? So make it so if a player is here and then one frame later, they're over here, this is 60 meters away. That's impossible for most killers and all survivors. So that would, send a red flag that they're cheating and it should ban them. The problem is cheaters can make other people do that, and so it would cause cheaters to get other people banned, kind of like there was the whole Dark Souls fiasco or Elden Ring even, where you could pick up a hacked item and then you would get banned. It's sort of the same thing where they would have to find a way to regulate that long before they even start adding server-side checks for those things, because if the cheaters can make you do those things against your will, you're going to get banned and the cheater's going to be fine. That's obviously a much worse scenario, so they have to err on the side of leniency or they're going to start false banning a shit ton of people. So that's the main counter argument to that whole discussion that a lot of people do have. But it is definitely a problem. It's always been a problem. It's an ongoing war. As the developers have said before, they patch a vulnerability, hackers find a new vulnerability, then, script kiddies purchase those cheats, and then they go there. It's a constant back and forth. But DBD is definitely no exception to having cheaters, and apparently it's actually very high. It's tied with Fortnite for, actually people searching for cheats with the game now. I need to make it clear that doesn't mean this many people are actually cheating. It just means they're searching for cheats. So they might not go through with it. They might seek, you actually have to pay, because nowadays it's a bit more complicated to cheat. You have to pay for services and stuff like that, apparently. So it's not like it was, back in the day when I was running Diablo 2 map packs. You just download a program. Half the time it's a virus, half the time it's the actual map pack, and you're good to go. But I want to, for the rest of this video, not talk about, the fact that there's actually cheating in DBD, because that's a nothing discussion. Of course there is. I want to go into the mindset of cheating itself, because in my opinion, there are basically 3 types of cheaters. The first one is people that just simply care about themselves. They just want to have their own fun, and a perfect person to exemplify this is, bringing it full circle, we're talking about ass hair, random guy on Twitter. Just using him as an example because people genuinely believe this. He was responding to someone saying, why will you cheat in online multiplayer games? And he says, who cares? It's, it's a game. How is it ruining their game? Blah, blah, blah. Go play a single player game. It's my game and I can play how I want. Whether this dude is rage baiting or not, it doesn't change the fact that a startling amount of people have this mindset where they think that their multiplayer game is actually a single player game and only their fun matters. That's the only thing that matters. Now, here's the thing. I think some of this is normal. Because like I said, back in the day, in 2003, I cheated in Warcraft 3 online in PvP ladder. I genuinely used a map hack and I bragged about using it. And of course, I got banned, but I actually straight up cheated. Now, the reason I cheated is because I was 13. I didn't give a shit about anybody else. To me, I was the center of the universe. I'm a dumb fuck kid, so that's why I cheated. It was more fun to me to play with cheats than to not have cheats. And that was the only repercussion to it. I just didn't care otherwise. So that makes sense. And I would even argue that's kind of normal. I'm not saying most kids cheat in video games or anything like that. I'm just saying that, overall more selfish mindset is common, and I would even say normal for children, so that's fine. And I would say the first category of these selfish people, I would say probably a good half of them are literally just kids. Dead by Daylight has a pretty young player base. If you look at the comp scene, a lot of them are just straight up minors, so it's no surprise that you would find that selfish mindset there, because It's not that they're acting like children. They are literally legally children. And so I that's like the least offensive form of cheating. Those people are usually the types of people that'll do like the silliest cheats. They'll just fly around. Like I said, they only care about their own fun. So they're going to just fly around, insta-kill people, just have a good time, laugh, probably get it out of their system pretty quickly. That's the least offensive form of cheater, in my opinion. The problem is there's a startling amount of people that just never grew up. And they're older now, and they still have the exact same mindset. I don't know why that happened. It's usually like spoiled rich kids, or just like there's some reason why that does happen. But there are a startling amount of people nowadays that still retain the childlike mindset of I'm the only person that matters. Fuck everybody else. There's no reason to have sympathy or empathy. Sympathy is a weakness. It's woke. I'm not going to get political on a fucking DVD video, but there is a very common ideology amongst a lot of people that cheat and have that same selfish mindset. I'll just leave it at that. But that's the first type of cheater. The second type of cheater is far more pathetic. This is the type of cheater that genuinely did try to play the game. They tried to get good at it, but through whatever reason, they just couldn't. They just struggled. They're not able to win. They get frustrated. They blame the game. They blame matchmaking. They blame other players. They blame everything but themselves. And so they go, you know what? This game's unfair. I'm going to make it fair for me and start cheating. I'm only going to move 5% faster. It's not much of a big deal, and that'll actually make it so the game is finally balanced. Now, as Survivor, the game is balanced, because before a killer is too OP, or a killer's using cheats to, have 6 perks that he doesn't normally have. Now it's balanced. They basically concoct a world where their perception of what the game's balance should be is what it actually is. They basically, again, it's more just egocentrism and the way they just think they're the center of the world, but they basically have deluded themselves into thinking their version of what they're making the game to be when they start cheating is how it actually should be. And so this is fine. I'm not flying around and insta-killing people. I'm just running a bit faster because these survivors have too many pallets. And because of that, now the game's actually even. This is actually a mindset that they have, which is why I said it's far more pathetic, because they're delusional. They've actually deluded themselves into thinking they're getting better at the game now. And I do think there's a small subset of them that get frustrated and they just have a vindictive mindset. So instead of getting better, they're just simply like, well, fuck everybody. I'm just going to cheat. Fuck them. Who cares? I'm going to fly around. Who gives a shit? But then there's those people that actually think, you know what? I'm going to make this game better myself. And they actually think they're decent at the game too. That's why it's so sad. So that's the second type of cheater. They get too frustrated and then they cheat minimally to rectify the perceived imbalances in their head. The third type of cheater is the most pathetic. And I don't even mean pathetic in the sense that you should make fun of them or, give just all that stuff. You shouldn't make fun of them. You should, but I'm saying pathetic in the literal definition of the term, as in deserving of pity, because this is the type of person that just hates other people having fun. They can only be happy when everybody else is not happy, when everybody else is miserable. And there's a startlingly high amount of people like that in all aspects of life, not just video games. They can only have fun when other people are miserable. And like I said, I try to have sympathy and, pity for these people, because I don't think anyone is just like that. Like, I don't think that's just a normal thing to be. I do understand as a kid, you're very egocentric and you're the only thing that matters, but there's a difference between being selfish and actively antagonistic to everybody else. That's a huge difference. You can just be a selfish prick and that's whatever. You're not going to harm too many people, but it's the people that only thrive. They are only happy when everybody else is miserable. Those are the most pathetic cheaters of all. And I know a lot of people try to throw this defense against that when they go, bro, it's just a video game. They're just having fun. Who cares? And I completely disagree. I think if you actually are able to have that mindset where you're only going to be happy if everybody else is miserable in the game that you're playing, that's not just a video game-based mindset. That's just how you actually think. That's just a genuinely warped mind that just believes that that's the only way that you can be happy is when everyone else is suffering. That's not, you can't use that as an excuse. It's just a video game. No, that's just how you actually are. And I don't really know how to even begin to help those types of people. You need a therapist or like a psychologist for that. It's something has gone so wrong in their lives where that's the only way they can find happiness is by making everyone else miserable. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to understand what you're going through to get to that point, but all I can say is something bad happened to you to make you like that. No one normal that had a great upbringing where they're loved by their family and stuff like that ends up like that. I can't say no one. Some people literally have chemical imbalances and they're physically sick. But for the most part, if you have a normal upbringing, you can't be like that. Those two things do not coincide at all. So something horrible must have happened for them to be like that. And those are the worst types of cheaters, because not only will they just cheat to gain an advantage, but they will try to make people as miserable as possible. At least the second category of cheater is just trying to make themselves feel better. They're not necessarily trying to make anyone else feel worse. They're just trying to make themselves feel better. The third category, the only way they're happy is if everyone else is upset. So that's the worst type of cheater. Luckily, those I think are in the minority. I think we mostly have just little kids and people that just couldn't get good enough at the game, so they're frustrated. That's, I think, legitimately 90% of the cheaters of DBD are just that. And I would argue in terms of the game's health, the second tier is the most actually harmful. Because the third tier, it's not very common. The first one, they're usually just doing silly shit. It's the second tier, the subtle cheating, the gaslighting. Those are the cheaters everyone hates the most, because even the most talented players in the world sometimes were like, is this guy cheating? I can't really tell. Is he moving faster? Did I round this corner? It's the gaslighting that's the worst part about it. Those are the worst types of cheaters in the actual game. So I just wanted to go over just like the mindset that goes into it. A lot of it is just frustrations with the game, and a lot of it is just people that never really matured out of their childhood. And it's just sad. I don't know. I don't know any other way to approach that other than it's just fucking sad. But that's it. I just saw this post and wanted to rant about cheating in DBD and gaming in general, but that's it.